Adolf Hitler is known for his cruelty worldwide, but we cannot neglect his political influence. He was a notorious leader of Nazi Germany and conquered many nations in Europe. However, he also suffered a slew of defeats, which could have been prevented if he had made tactical choices with more common sense. Hello viewers, and welcome to our channel, where we share the world's hidden stories. In today's video, we will go to World War II and share something you would have not ever imagined. Though we know how World War II ended, keeping Adolf Hitler as a political figure in mind, it can be confidently said that Hitler could have won World War II before it even started. Want to know how? Then stay with us till the end of the video. Before we begin with the video, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another amazing video. Without any further ado, let's jump into the video. Adolf Hitler became famous politically for quickly identifying his opponent's weaknesses and turning them in his favor. However, he rarely used the same talent to exploit weaknesses as a leader. Instead, he threw most of his army into the most vital enemy positions and sacrificed, among other things, the much-needed force at Stalingrad and Tobruk. If he had done otherwise, Hitler might have succeeded. It has been argued that his strategy was perfect until the mid-1940s. He isolated and absorbed country after country in Europe, gained the Soviet Union as a willing ally, destroyed French military power, overthrew the British from the continent, and left only the weak and vulnerable. There were obstacles to an empire covering most of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. After 1940, however, Hitler committed a legion of defeats. One major defeat was the Battle of Britain. The French government collapsed on June 16th. This left the British suddenly alone on their island home. On June 18th, Churchill announced, "What General Reagan called the Battle of France is over. I expect the Battle of Britain is about to begin. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say this was their finest hour." The Battle of Britain started on July 10th, when the German Air Force, also known as the Luftwaffe, attacked Britain. The Luftwaffe started with bomber attacks against shipping and continuing into early August. On August 13th, the main offense of Hitler was released with attacks against the airbases and aircraft factories of the Royal Air Force in Southeastern England. The goal was to take down the Royal Air Force. The ongoing attacks resulted in a truce to the Germans, and the government started to make plans to flee to Canada. British Air Chief Marshal Sir Hugh Downing warned that there won't be a Royal Air Force left within a few weeks to defend against the German air attacks. But what happened next was a major mistake with huge consequences. 3 German bombers accidentally dropped bombs on London. Then, 2 days later, the RAF did the same with 70 bombers on Berlin. Although only an elephant of the Berlin Zoo was hit by the British attack, Hitler was furious. He ordered the Luftwaffe to focus on bombings on London. Because of this, the remaining pilots of Churchill could rest and repair the aircrafts, eventually resulting in winning the Battle of Britain. Hitler wasted the opportunity to win the battle. If he continued to attack the Royal Air Force, he would have definitely won the Battle of Britain. More German troops might have flown in, leading to German forces marching into Britain. Besides, the USA might have not been involved in the war. So, you could say that Germany could easily have won World War II if only Hitler had shown more common sense. However, Germany's loss can also be attributed to inopportune timing and sheer bad luck. Germany's military superiority was not due to superior technology. It was due to his military commanders. His military commanders allowed him to fight World War I on 2 fronts, against numerically superior enemies. This suspicious nature cost him dearly. Hitler was also a megalomaniac. There were many accounts of his megalomania. This, coupled with his eccentric personality, made everyone around him fearful of being the bearer of bad news. As a result, he only gathered sycophants around him. Hitler also interfered extensively with the day-to-day operations of his army. During Operation Barbarossa, he constantly diverted armies to attack elsewhere against his general's wishes. Many renowned historians, such as Antony Beevor, have stated that Hitler interfered a great deal in the day-to-day operations of the army. The chain of command exists for a reason. He also didn't like the concept of a retreat. He considered retreat a loss of face and forbade any division to retreat. The retreating soldiers were court-martialed. Due to his stupidity, he lost the entire 6th Panzer Division. The whole division was marched to a prison camp, and out of 95,000, only 5,000 returned after the war ended. Rommel got angry and started conspiring to assassinate Hitler. He attacked North Africa, sending one of his best commanders, Rommel, to lead the invasion. Then he decided that he wanted to attack Russia and gain the fields of the Caucasus. He stopped supplying much-needed oil to Rommel. Now coming on to Italy, it was useless during World War II. It was less than unnecessary. It was dead weight. Italy was not as strong militarily as Germany. He failed in his invasions of Yugoslavia and Greece, and Germany had to step in to reinforce his failed campaigns. Italy's ultimate stab came when it declared war on Germany on October 13, 1943. Mussolini had been deposed, and the new government entered the war on the Allies' side, which was not of much use, as we all know. Japan was a big deal during World War II. Hitler should have moderated Japan. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor and dragged the United States into the war. If Japan had not attacked the United States would have not entered the war. For no reason other than Japan being an ally, Germany declared war on the United States. However, for better chances at war, Hitler should have treated prisoners of war, other prisoners, and conquered lands with respect. If only he had not committed such atrocities against the peoples of the conquered lands, they would resist and simply not surrender. There are many on-the-surface reasons why Hitler lost the war, which could have been improved easily. The first one is resistance, which took the form of someone sabotaging Nazi supplies or passing on tips from drunken Nazis to intelligence officials. Such small forms of resistance added a lot and ultimately were to bring down the Third Reich. Secondly, Germany had a poor choice of equipment. Its equipment was highly complex and required training. The complexity of the equipment meant that it couldn't be produced enough at one time. Stalin's weapons, on the other hand, were much easier. PPC machine guns could be fired easily. They had an antifreeze oil that allowed them to continue to ignite the sub-zero Russian winter. There was no such thing for the Germans. Besides, Stalin dismantled their factories in the east, moved them further inside, and had them produce weapons within a year. On number 3, tanks deserved to get the place. German Tiger tanks were superior in every way to the Russian T-34 tanks. However, the Russians acquired enormous quantities of these tanks. They were also simple to operate. This meant that anyone could run them and join the war effort. The multitude of T-34 tanks drowned the German tanks. Stalin even said, "There comes a time when quantity becomes its own quality." We don't see Operation Barbarossa as a mistake. Hitler was right to think that the Soviets could be brought to their knees within 4 months. In addition, the Germans desperately needed the materials that the Soviet Union had. This, combined with the fact that even the Finnish army repelled the Soviets, gave Germany the confidence to fight the Soviets. The defeat was more of a matter of bad luck. The Soviets were a little more challenging than expected. However, this meant that the Germans would not be able to reach Moscow until winter came. With the onset of winter, German equipment malfunctioned, and they were logistically unprepared for a long war. These mistakes were not the end of their mistakes, but someone has said rightly, everything is fair in love and war. Germany's allies took this statement quite seriously. Germany faced resistance and guerrilla efforts, and as the war reversed, its allies abandoned the fight. Finland was at war only in the battle against the Soviet Union, while basically the same was true for Romania and Hungary. Eventually, these nations withdrew from the fight and joined the Soviets against the Hungarians in the case of Romania. Italy was a reliable partner, but its army was not ready for war and did not even last long. This dragged the Germans into unnecessary campaigns, especially in Greece and North Africa, and after the overthrow of Benito Mussolini's government, Germany was forced to occupy its former ally. Then, her Axis partner, Imperial Japan, had not joined the fight against the Soviet Union. While the Japanese attracted British resources to the Far East, which included Commonwealth forces from Australia and New Zealand and the Indian Army, the Germans did not really benefit. So, this is how Hitler could have won World War II. What do you think? Was there any chance of Hitler winning World War II? Share your views in the comments section below. If you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching.